Good afternoon. It is March 24th, episode 45 of Lost in the Shuffle. I'm here with my buddy, John LaLoggia. What's up, John?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing great. You like our background music? It's called Night Driving.
It's so at the beginning of every show, we have to talk about your graphic design skills and how you've added not only the intro music and a nice, easy flow, but also added the date, this little banner at the bottom with the social handles. Look at you, man. You always have to acknowledge the addition to the pod and your graphic design abilities. So
I appreciate it. They're not super great, but they suffice, dude. It's like I'm not a master of one. I'm a master of none, but a jack of all trades. It's a quote like that, right?
Yeah. A master of none essentially means a jack of all trades, which means you're not really good at anything, but you're like okay at a ton of things.
Well, they say a master of none, a master of one, something like that.
It's something master of none. There was a Aziz Ansari show about it.
Right. But the quote is supposed to be negative. It's like, oh, if you're a master of none, blah,
then
blah,
you're
blah.
not good at anything.
Right.
It's different than a jack of all trades.
Right. I don't think the jack of all trades was included in that joke, or that punchline or the quote or whatever. Anywho, yes, a little bit of good at everything, I'd like to think. Yeah, this layout looks nice, dude, right?
Very nice. I'm always impressed. And shout out to Odds Jam and Bet US.
Good idea, John. We should take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors. Guys, if you like sports betting content, I have all of my Spets boarding Spets.
Spets boarding.
Spets! You guys want to watch some Spets? So we'll come over and watch some Spets.
I love Spets.
Sports betting content. I don't want to flood my Instagram or my TikTok with just sports betting content. So Odds Jam was so graciously to take me on, and I have my own page on TikTok. It is oddsjam_Sheffield Shuff, and that is going to be strictly sports betting content. So if you guys are interested in sports betting, looking for positive EV, arbitration, or what is that? Not arbitration, arbitrage bets, things like that, check out Odds Jam. They're going to be the place to do it. They gave me a free subscription. Great. Also, if you're looking for a sports book, John, Bet US. I bet you already knew this. It's in the link tree, and it says Bet US. You sign up with my link, and you're going to get free money.
It's awesome. I've been using it for the NCAA tournament. I'm literally almost dead last or like second to last in every pool that I'm in. However, I have Arizona as the winner, so that could honestly save me. But they play tonight, and they obviously can't lose.
Go Cats! They have less STDs than their foe ASU, so I've heard.
And experienced. Just kidding.
Beautiful. So, John, great day today. We're on episode 45. Okay, we're gonna keep this under. We're gonna keep this under a half hour, like we do with all of our shows. John,
actually, you're really good at that. So when I first started coming on the pod, Pete would be like, hey, try to keep it under a half an hour. I'm like, no problem. And then I would go way long. And so he's saying it to the audience, but also kind of reminding me again to not go off and talk so much where we have like an hour episode.
Well, the thing too is we're doing this live. So this will go out live, but then I could also edit it before we put it on our podcast. I just don't want to do that because it takes more work. You know
Is this too much behind the scenes for our listeners?
I don't know.
Should we tell them?
Get to the fucking stories. Get to the specs.
Get to the specs. Why don't you just share your screen and watch you do Photoshop for an hour?
Yes, seriously. Fucking boring as hell. John, let's get into it. My boy, Tyreek. Can you guys see that piece? Deuces. Tyreek Hill traded to the Dolphins.
Sweet. He has no one to throw it to him. Awesome.
He's got Tua. It's going to get thrown dead ducks all year long, right?
My buddy, I don't know if you saw that, but it was I couldn't remember where I saw it on social, but it was like Tua throwing to his new receiver, and it was Tebow back when he was with the Broncos. Yeah. And it was so bad, I thought it was photoshopped. He threw a ball, like just a regular route in practice when he was with the Broncos.
Like sideways.
It like not did only did it go sideways, it tumbled forward sideways and forwards out of his hand and just landed nowhere near his receiver, maybe 10 yards away. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's not a good throw. He's a great football player, just not a great quarterback.
Arguably the greatest college football player of all time.
Hands down.
Terrible NFL quarterback.
What does this mean for the Dolphins, John?
I don't think it means anything. You're essentially limited by your quarterback. There's a reason they're paying Aaron Rodgers $50 million a year. There's a reason Patrick Mahomes got $500 million. You cannot win in this league without a quarterback. That's why the Packers shipped all of their receivers away. Adams goes to the Raiders. Valdez-Scantling just got picked up by the Chiefs because they're betting on, hey, we have a great quarterback, and a great quarterback can throw to anybody. And
you want to give us 5 picks for it too? Okay.
Right. Exactly. They have 2 picks in the first round coming up in the draft, but that's essentially the bet that that's essentially what's happening. Now, I don't think it makes a difference at all. I think personally Tyreek Hill has won. He's been a Pro Bowler. He's an NFL champion. So he has nothing left to prove. So that dude wants to get paid, and he wants to get the hell out of Kansas City and go party in South Beach, right, which I totally get. It's very similar to the Chris Bryant situation with Colorado. Why the hell would Chris Bryant want to play at Coors Field? The Rockies are terrible. That organization sucks. Their leadership sucks. Their front office is dog shit. He, again, at an early age, NL MVP, Rookie of the Year, World Series champion. He has nothing left to prove. That dude wants to get in the Hall of Fame. He wants to pad his stats. He's going to go chill in Denver. It's all about the money. Yeah,
his wife wants to have a nice little snow retreat house, a place for them to hang out, right? It just didn't make any sense since they got rid of Arenado 2 years ago.
It made absolutely no sense.
The only thing is they were targeting him in the draft. Rockies were picking 3rd. Cubs were picking 2nd. Cubs picked him up first. Otherwise, the Rockies were going to do it as well. But back to the Tyreek Hill thing, all the pressure is going to be on Tua now. Bad idea. You got a quarterback who isn't proven in this league, and now you're adding all the pressure in the world to him. If you looked in Vegas, their odds cut in half to make the Super Bowl. Even to win the division, they're at plus 400, which is tied with the Patriots and someone else. But dude, they add one receiver and they all of a sudden are elevated that high up. I thought those were inflated numbers. I don't know why Vegas would think that.
So I think something interesting to think about, and you can check me on this. The new head coach of the Dolphins is Mike McDaniel, right? Mm-hmm. He is the offensive coordinator with San Francisco. And I think he went to an Ivy League school, very analytically driven, does a lot of misdirection. I mean, can do more with less, as you saw with San Francisco and how far they were able to go in the playoffs with a limited quarterback who literally like had a broken thumb and a separated shoulder. But I kind of see Tyreek Hill really being like a Deebo Samuel. I mean, I think Mike McDaniel, I think that's his name. Please check me on that. I think he's going to use him like Debo a lot of misdirection, put him in the backfield, a lot of motion. I really don't think there's a ton of routes in his future just because Tua is limited. But I do think he's going to be used a lot, but he's going to be used in a lot of unconventional ways. And I think that's why he wanted him.
I think, yeah, it's going to be short. He's not getting those bombs from Mahomes anymore.
No.
You know what? He's getting downfield. That's not happening.
He's going to utilize his speed other ways. Yeah.
And get open in the field. They're going to get him the ball quick. Like you said, short passes so he can get the ball and then do work with open space.
Right. Because Tua can't outthrow Tyreek Hill. It's not going to happen. And right. I think they got him to use him in other ways. I think Tyreek Hill wanted to get paid, and I think he wanted to party in Miami. Watch out for that, by the way, because that dude is not a choir boy, and he has a pretty sordid past.
Choir boy.
He has a pretty sordid past. He's done some pretty shitty things in the past.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yep. And he like knocked his wife down the stairs, or girlfriend. So again, not the best past. I don't know how he's going to do in South Beach. Like I could see in 6 to 8 months of him being like him getting in trouble, like 100%.
John, true or false? Players do not care about rings anymore. All they care about is getting paid.
Yeah, I do. Right? I really do.
I think we've seen multiple examples as well. Even Devontae Adams going to the Raiders, obviously from your Packers, and that's just a small, sample size or whatever. Like you said, Chris Bryant going to the Rockies.
Especially when you get one early, then you really don't care. Chris Bryant wanted to get paid, and so did Hill. Like it was so obvious.
Right. I mean, you're not going to a contending team, and if you're one of the best players in the league at your position, and you're not going to a contending team, you're just going to get money. These players just want money. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I get it. If I was in Chris Bryant's position, I'd be like, sure, I have nothing left to prove. I want big money. I live in Vegas. It's the closest city to Vegas. My wife's about to have twin boys. And he's who cares? He's gonna be a legend. If he retired today, he would be a baseball legend for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And with Tyreek Hill is a Super Bowl champion. He's considered maybe the fastest NFL player of all time, one of the best NFL players, and won one with Mahomes. He has nothing left to prove. The dude wants to get paid. There's no shame in it. I totally get it. Times are different, like you look at college football, and I'm not a huge college football fan, but back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and especially 80s, so many top recruits would want to go to Notre Dame, and now they can't, and obviously part of it is academic restrictions and how difficult it is to get in there, as opposed to Miami, where you literally need a pulse and you get in. But no one wants to do that anymore. Notre Dame doesn't have the same allure as it does. They're like, I don't give a shit if it's Notre Dame. I don't want to live in South Bend, Indiana. I want to go in Palo Alto. I want to go to USC. I want to go to South Beach. I even want to go to Texas at Austin. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they don't give a shit. They don't care about nostalgia or history. They care about where's the best place for me?
And your experience.
My experience. It's really all about it. It's really all about experience. And obviously when you get to the professional level, it's all about money. Especially getting that opportunity. You don't get many opportunities to make big money. So when you do, you really need to make them count.
That's why I appreciate guys like Brandon Nimmo. Our next story, Brandon Nimmo plays for the New York Mets. Brandon Nimmo drives a light gold 2010 Nissan Altima to spring training every year because it keeps him humble. That is cool. Scherzer comes in a jet black Porsche. Carlos Carrasco, Ferrari, Rolls Royce. Brandon Nimmo says, give me the 2010 light gold Nissan Altima.
Pete, let me ask you this question, though. If you were in the same position and you were Brandon Nimmo, you were that type of player, you had millions of dollars at your disposal, would you choose to drive a car like that to keep you humble? Or do you say, screw it, I'm getting a Tesla, I'm getting a Porsche?
So here's the first thing. I'm not a big car guy. I'm never was into cars. It's like, I like Jeeps, dude. So like my dream car is like, honestly, just like a 4-door, like nice Wrangler. Like I would be so happy. If I had all the money in the world, I would get like a white or like a nice like flat gray 4-door Wrangler, and that's it, dude. Like sports cars don't do anything for me. Like flashy fast cars do nothing for me. I want something where I have space, where I'm a little bit up and have some space, and I'm good. So I would drive the same car that I drove 2 years ago before it was in a tornado.
I would definitely get a Porsche.
You would?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you got it, like, I mean, I don't know anybody else who does it, who drives a 2010 Nissan Altima. I mean, and who knows why he does it. He says it keeps him humble, which is great. I mean, maybe I don't know, there's some nostalgia or something attached to it.
Possibly. All right, cool.
What else? No, I am not that man. I'm not as good as he is. You know what I mean?
No, you're not that great of a person. I understand.
No, hell no. And I'm it's called what is it? Self-awareness. I know that, I know that about myself.
Yeah.
Which is half the battle, acceptance.
The more you know.
The more you know. Reading Rainbow. Nick Castellanos, dude, low key. I have a huge crush on him, dude. He is fucking handsome.
He's a handsome man, and he drops bombs.
Yeah, and he's
just a good offensive player. Defensively, yipes, but offensively, yes.
Yeah. So he came to the Phillies, and they had his press conference. So cool, dude. He's gonna give everybody so many good quotes. We're gonna make so many T-shirts from all the shit that he says. But he says, "I don't have a college degree. I hit baseballs." And it was about him. That reporter was like, so like, what is your mentality around playing baseball?" And he was just like, "It's like survival. It's how I feed my family. I don't have a college degree. I hit baseballs." I was just like, "Damn, that guy's cool." He's just so cool. And then he said, playing in Philly, they'll let you know when you're playing well, and they'll let you know when you're playing bad, and I can deal with that. That dude is ready for Philly, dude. There are certain towns that you go to. New York, number one, biggest hub for sports, huge sports town.
Big baseball town.
Yeah, I mean, just big sports town in general, or big town in general.
New York, okay, what are, in your opinion, what is the top baseball cities in the United States?
Top baseball cities?
I think New York is one. I think Yankees are number one. Obviously, the Mets are big there. In Chicago, I wouldn't say the Cubs. I wouldn't say it's a big city. I wouldn't say the Cubs or White Sox necessarily. I would say the Bears.
I think
the Bears are the biggest thing in Chicago for sure.
I would disagree with that.
Really?
I would say the Cubs would be the biggest draw. I mean, dude, look at every game, and the Cubs play 82 games at home. It is packed every game. You go to a Bears game.
So are Bear fans, and the Bears have been atrocious my whole life, and they sell out every single game. I think it's a football town, in my opinion.
I don't agree. I think there's obviously two baseball teams. One city that I have to say though, St. Louis.
100%.
As much as people and Cubs fans, obviously they say they hate Cardinals fans. I don't hate Cardinals fans. You know why, John? Take a guess why I don't hate Cardinals fans.
I have no idea.
Because they are educated. They are smart baseball fans.
100% they are. I lived there. I lived there for 2 years. I went to grad school there, and while I was there, I have a lot of my college friends that were there, and I met their families and friends, and it is real. I would talk to people's grandmothers. I would talk to their nieces, their aunts. They know like what's happening in Memphis, like the Memphis Redbirds. They know prospects that are coming up. They know day to day. They know like, oh, this guy's on the IL, or this guy has been terrible the last 2 weeks. Like, it is a real thing. They are extremely educated, and it's everything there. It's like dogs, Budweiser, and the Cardinals is like St. Louis in a nutshell.
Yeah. Very, very educated. Every Cardinals fan I've ever met, very educated. They know a lot about baseball, period.
And they take a lot of pride in being educated too.
Yeah.
Like it's important to them.
It's just a characteristic that I've seen specifically with Cardinals fans. So that's why I don't hate on Cardinals fans. It doesn't bother me. You know who bothers me is fucking Brewers fans, dude. Fucking gross, dude. I mean, I'm sorry because I know you like the Packers, but everybody from Wisconsin is fucking ugly, dude. Have you ever seen somebody wear...
I was born there.
Hey, have you ever seen somebody wear a Packers jersey with a Brewers hat? It's the ugliest.
I wouldn't recommend that. I would not recommend that.
Oh, it's so ugly. Everybody from all the Wisconsin fans, dude, I can pick them out. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You can pick them out. You're like, they're from Milwaukee. That's a Milwaukee fan. That's a Green Bay fan. Like they all look very similar.
So
Am I wrong?
So Kevin Smith is a director. He did like Jay and Silent
Clerks.
Bob, Clerks, a bunch of stuff. He did a movie Dogma, which is really good. It was Matt Damon, Chris Rock, it's awesome, and Ben Affleck. And so Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are like angels that are sent back to Earth. And at one point, someone in the movie gets sent to hell, and I think it's Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Really?
Like, yeah, they're sent to hell, and they wind up in like Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah. I'm not saying the city of Milwaukee, because I think the city of Milwaukee is highly underrated.
Wisconsin gets a bad rep. Wisconsin, like I have two sisters who live in Madison. Madison is awesome. Milwaukee's a great
college town.
Milwaukee's a great city. Green Bay, not a lot going on.
Your sisters were also raised in the suburbs of Chicago, so they're not like
but I was born in Waukesha.
Right, Waukesha, the Kenosha Kickers, dude.
Kenosha Kickers, Twin Lace Polka, Amahuji Poke.
AK Kiss Me Polka Twist. Yeah, we sold out.
It was 623 copies. That's what I tell people about this podcast. I'm like, we've done 45 episodes.
Yeah. Oh, where was I going?
Speaking of movies, can I tell the Batman story?
Yeah, tell me. You said to wait.
So I'm really excited to see the Batman, the new movie with Robert Pattinson. It's in the theaters Sunday morning. I see it at 10:15. Why? Because I have a 11-month-old son, and it's really fucking busy over here, and I don't have a lot of free time.
5 hours already,
and it's up at 5 hours. I'm up at 5 anyway, and so I asked my wife, "Hey, it's a 3-hour movie," and she's like, "Yes, go, please." I'm like, "Thank God." I also work from home.
You went solo?
Yeah, dude, I went solo.
Oh, how nice was it just to be?
It's amazing. Going to the movies by yourself is incredible. It's not weird. Anyone who thinks it's weird, it's not. It's incredible. No. You don't have to worry about the other person likes the movie, especially if you recommended it.
You know who says that, John? Are people who are insecure of themselves. Like
100%.
I enjoy eating alone. I love to sit there by myself.
My wife thought I was a sociopath the first time I met her because we were dating, and then we weren't obviously spending every day together. When you're in the dating phase, she goes, "What'd you do?" I was like, "Oh, I went to a movie." She's like, "By yourself?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's super weird." I was like, "I love it. Yeah, I absolutely love it." Anyway, I know this is a short pod, so I don't want to keep it too long. So I get a ticket for 10:15. I'm so pumped. This is a big deal for a dad who doesn't get to do a lot of fun stuff. So I get a big thing of popcorn. I get some candy, big soda. It's so sad what my life has become. I'm so excited to go see this movie, and I heard it's fucking awesome. So I go in, I sit in the movie, and it's different. The theater's way bigger. There's like lights, camera. I feel like I'm on set. And I look at my ticket and it says, I just got it. And it was like $20. I was like, that's a little expensive, like over $20. And It wasn't IMAX, but it said 4DX. And I was like, that's weird. Okay. And this is on the north side of Chicago, like on the Western Roscoe Village area.
Was it Regal Theater?
Yes. Regal. Yes. On Western.
I remember.
So I'm looking at the movie's about to start, previews. And I'm looking at the armrest, and it says water on, water off. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm looking around. It feels like I'm on a movie set. There's like wind turbines and everything. I'm like, okay, whatever. The movie starts, dude. So what 4DX is, it's like a theme park. There's water spraying on you. There's wind. The seat rocks up and down and goes forward depending on what's happening in the movie. Spoiler alert, it rains that whole fucking movie, by the way. The entire movie. So within 5 minutes of the movie, I'm just like, nuh-uh. I fucking walk out. And I walk out, and this old ticket taker who must have been working there since like the 30s. He was like literally 100. He was like, what's wrong, young man? And I'm like, I explained the situation, and I said, I made a mistake, and I'd be happy. There was another showing at 10:15, just a standard showing. And I was like, great. I just want to see this movie, and I have to make the most of this opportunity. And he was super nice, and he was like, I'll refund your ticket. I know it's a bit scary. So So I'll refund your ticket. So I got a refund of the ticket. I got to see it in standard viewing. It was awesome. Highly recommended seeing it. But it was very embarrassing because, one, I don't even know what 40X is. And two, it really does show my age where there wasn't even a second to be like, oh, I'll ride this out. I was like, nope, I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah.
And I just peaced out.
Do you think they show other movies in 40X like Brokeback Mountain?
Dude. If they did, I'd see that because hopefully it would be less crazy than that movie. But
I think you get splashed on equally the same.
God, that'd be so funny if they brought back Brokeback Mountain, but only in
butter
only
for
in
popcorn?
40X. Oh my God! Yeah. But it's so it also made me sad too to think about like the movie theater is dying. Like this is the shit they have to resort to get people to come out of the comfort of their own house when everyone has massive, buying a big screen TV now is incredibly affordable, much more than in so many other things.
And people pirate the shit out of it. I pirate every single movie. Of
course,
dude.
Yeah, you can steal everything. Everything's on the internet. You can stream it. So I was just like, it kind of made me sad that this is what it's come down to. So. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that.
Great story for the Batman. Highly recommend it. Just watch it in regular format, not 40X.
God, no.
You're getting soaking wet. John, two UFC fighters, Jorge Masvidal and Kobe Covington. These guys hate each other, right? Mm-hmm. Masvidal saw Covington out in public, right? He was charged with felony assault. He attacked him, chipped his tooth, and then broke his like $90K Rolex. So this happened the other day. They just arrested Jorge Masvidal. These guys just fought in a UFC not too long ago. Covington won by decision. So Masvidal, they hate each other. They were best friends. It says Masvidal was wearing a surgical mask during the attack. So at least he was being cognizant of COVID-19. And sorry, I had to throw that in there. And so it just made me think like, a lot of these guys that we watch talk shit to each other. Fuck you. I see you. It's on site, whatever. These guys are actually about it. Like UFC fighters, like these guys are, Masvidal's a street guy. They call him Street Jesus. Like he's from Miami-Dade County. Miami-Dade, I don't fuck around, dude. That's where Kimbo Slice is from, Miami-Dade.
R.I.P., right?
R.I.P., dude. Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was just crazy that these guys are fighting outside of the ring now, and now they're getting the law involved. You just fought not too long ago, and you did it for, you made money off of it, and you did it without getting arrested, and now they're fighting in the streets.
Isn't that so funny? Like, in the arena, everything goes, but like 20 feet outside, it's like assault and a felony. Isn't that hilarious? They were just like beating the shit out of each other, and then like later, 20 feet like outside, it's like considered like a felony assault. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Because Dana White wasn't getting a cut from it.
There you go. Yeah. As long as he's getting money from it, then he doesn't care. Whatever happens.
Fair game.
If he's not making money from it, you're on your own.
John, did you want to talk about my hair?
Well, we were having this conversation earlier, and I asked you the question, like, what's the boiling point? What's the tipping point where you decide I'm going to shave it? If you're losing your hair, when do you decide I'm going to shave it? What will it take? What are you hanging on to? Aside from your wife doesn't want you to do it.
So, I mean, if we're all being like serious, it's not that bad. So
no, it's not that bad, but you talked about it.
As far as receding goes, it's not bad. It's just very like thin and wispy, obviously. So the thing is when I get it cut nice, like I could pull it off. It's just very thin. Like it's still there. It still grows. It's just like, you can see my fucking scalp. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not like thick like your hair.
My hair's not that thick.
If I could just like put this on top of my head, I would be okay. But yeah, it's just very thin. So it's a good thing I love hats. But I guess
so what's the tipping point? Will you ever?
When I start getting a haircut and it doesn't look good, which I'm approaching. We're getting there.
You look great, man.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, that's why I wear hats. But yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, you'll see. There will be a time. I've gotten really close, dude, at looking in the mirror some mornings. I'm just like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Just fucking shave it. You know, one of those dark self-talks.
Sure.
John, speaking of ghosts, ghost runner at second base in extra innings for the MLB. What do we think about that?
I hate it. I was so excited that we were done with that crap. And then they're like, "Oh, just kidding." That's it. Two things I don't like. So I like the 7-inning doubleheaders. That was the one thing I did like. Now it's 9 innings. The other rule, obviously, was the ghost runners back just for 2022. That move sucks. It is so unfair to the pitcher. Like it is such a dumb rule. I'm all in favor for 7-inning doubleheaders, by the way.
Mhm.
The other rule expanded rosters, I think, to 28, and you get unlimited pitchers because of the shortened spring training. I'm pretty sure that is correct.
Why hasn't anybody proposed the idea to start the ghost runners in like maybe the 12th inning? Why has it got to be the 10th right away?
I don't know. I would even be in favor of that. I just think it sucks. I think it's so unfair. And talk about like changing the game. Like that is I think it's such a massive change. Like you're putting a runner on base out of thin air. Like that's crazy. The other thing that I do like is the Otani rule, which is if you're pitching and you leave, you can still come back as a DH, which is awesome because it's really celebrating the uniqueness of a player like Shohei Otani. And that's what the game needs to do more of, like finding really fun, cool, innovative ways to keep the game fun and engaging and interesting. And that is just one example of more of stuff that they need to do more of, if possible.
I mean, that literally just pertains to him. I mean, that's literally the league creating a rule to make sure that he can.
It might as well be called the Otani rule.
It is. I mean, like nobody. It applies to nobody else, or nobody else will take effect from that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. Agreed.
So now, how about playoffs now, John? Remember my Cubs in 2016? Remember that Game 7? Can you imagine if a guy started on second base in the top of the 10th inning in the World Series?
It shouldn't be. Wait, this is in the playoffs too, right?
That's what I'm not clear on. I was hoping I don't know if you know.
I don't think so. It certainly should. It certainly shouldn't be.
Right.
And it's a 12-team expanded playoff, right?
Yep.
I think that's nuts. If they're good at 14, you could just pack it in and be like, well, all we have to be is middle of the road, and we might get in.
Yeah, there's no point of playing 162 games.
It certainly devalues them. So why is anyone going to tune in? You're going to tune in April, May, even June or July. But if you know half the teams get in, it's like I'm going to check. If I was like a regular baseball fan, I would check into like September and be like, all right, what's happening here? When do the playoffs start?
Exactly. If half the league gets in, what does it matter?
Which I think is a huge mistake. All right, so I wanted to touch base, pun intended, on some of the top baseball movies of the 90s. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go down the list. Little Big League.
What do you want me to do? Rank it?
So I'm doing my top 5. All right.
Okay.
All right. So number 5 is Little Big League. Have you seen Little Big League?
Yeah. I would say good, not great.
I wrote a whole article about this for a website called Foul Territory Baseball. We can link it in here. But I talked about how Billy Haywood was the greatest fictional baseball manager of all time. They have a play in that game, which is brilliant. When I lived in LA, I coached, like assistant coach the high school team, and in the summer I got to like totally manage while the head coach was out, and I ran this play, which was there's a guy on third base.
Throw over to first or no?
No, not the hidden ball trick. So there's a guy on third base, and this is when Mickey Scales is up to the plate. So Haywood calls him over and says, I want you to take this pitch. If it's ball 4, we're going to go with the play. And the guy's like, is this legal? And he goes, of course. Ty Cobb and Wahoo Sam Crawford used to do it all the time. He's like, just try it. So the guy at the plate, Pat Corning, I believe it's a shortstop, takes the pitch and then bolts to first, takes a turn around first, and heads to second. Okay, now there's a guy on third.
Right.
Guy on third checks, so the catcher checks him at third. He turns and goes back to the base. Haywood's watching him, and as soon as the catcher throws it to second to try to get him out, he sends the guy from third home, and they score, and the guy's safe at home and safe at second. And I did that in a high school game, and it worked. But then the coach complained, and they did not allow it.
Complained about what? There's nothing illegal about it.
I know. That's what I thought. I stole it from that movie, and for some reason, they said, no, you can't do that.
That's just not true.
I know. I was really pissed. I was like, I know this. I was like, this is legal. And then I go, do you want to show me? I asked them, do you show me the rule book? And they go, we don't carry that with us. We're the umpires. And they're like, you can't do that in a high school game. I was like, okay, whatever.
You know what play I can't wait to run with my children, especially at a smaller age? Guy on second, third, got show the bunt to the guy at third base. Bunt! Third baseman runs in. Second guy on second base just walks into second. I've seen that so many times in Little League where they're just like, bunt. Third base charges like he's supposed to do. Guy on second just takes off to third. Now he's at third. I can't wait to do that kind of shit, dude, with little kids, teaching them fundamentals and how, wheel plays, things like that. Oh, it's going to be great.
100%. Number 4, Rookie of the Year. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's up there as some of the best baseball movie. Not best baseball movie, but I mean the nostalgia with Wrigley Field, Cubs team, and Henry Rowengartner, just quality character.
And I think when they're having him on the gun, he never throws below 100, which is insane. Number 3, where was it? Number 3 for Love of the Game, which is awesome.
Kevin Costner.
Yep, Costner. Number 2, A League of Their Own, which I believe universally it's considered the greatest baseball movie of all time.
Yeah.
And then number 1, The Sandlot. I think that's the best. I think that's the best kid baseball movie of the 90s. Hands down.
One of my favorite quotes, John, comes from A League of Their Own. You know which one it was? It was from Jimmy Dugan when he talks to Gina Davis's character.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Yes, the hard is what makes it great. Yep, which is so true with anything, and that's why I love baseball so much. Is because, I mean, without getting too deep, it is, I think, a metaphor for life. A lot of stuff, and what I loved about baseball is that it's an imperfect game played by, imperfect people. There's a guy, the umpire is the one who judges it. He'll have bad calls, just like life kind of doesn't always go your way. It's not always going to be fair, which is what I love about baseball. And yeah, sometimes you got to play small ball, get guys over, sacrifice, things like that. I think there's a lot of parallels from the game that can carry over into life.
Yeah, for sure. I love the structure of it. It's a really clean game, the diamond. And I love that it's every day. It's every single day. I was watching the other night Ken Burns' baseball documentary. It was on MLB Network, and I was just tuning in for a second. My wife and I are watching a really good show on Hulu called The Dropout, which is about that Theranos woman who conned her way into creating this fake this company that was total fraud. Anywho, it was a writer on Ken Burns' documentary. He's talking about Earl Weaver with the Orioles manager, and he was on the beat, and he was covering him, and he was really new. He's 22, and he had to get these quotes from Earl Weaver before the game, and he was talking to him and on the field and whatever, and the national anthem started while he was asking his questions, and he didn't realize it because he just was reading off his questions and obviously really new. And then he realized it, and people got pissed at him, people who was getting dirty looks from the comms team and the people that work there. And so he took his hat off and did the national anthem, and then he went back in the dugout with Earl Weaver, and he was Mr. Weaver, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize it. And Earl Weaver put his hand on his shoulder and goes, "Relax, kid, we do this every day."
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
John, one of the I think underrated baseball movies that doesn't get a lot of recognition that should. Have you ever seen 61?
Oh my gosh, with Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle. I own it on DVD.
Same. Yeah. I
It's
think
awesome.
that was
My wife loves
Billy
that
Crystal
movie.
directed it.
Yeah, so Crystal was a huge
Yankees fan.
Huge Yankee fan, a huge Mickey Mantle fan. It was like his favorite player. He was on the bonus features, he was talking about just Mickey in general, and he was like he was so fragile. He was so injury prone that he was such a gift that when he would walk down the steps of the dugout, you would hold your breath that he wouldn't slip. And you're not gonna like where this tangent is gonna go, but honestly, that's how I feel about Aaron Rodgers when he's like on the field. I don't want anyone to touch him. He's like that good. Anytime he gets sacked, my wife gets pissed because I am like. But
this book, John, The Last Boy, highly recommended on Mickey Mantle.
I haven't read that.
It's very long, but
who wrote it?
Jane Levy.
Didn't she write that Babe Ruth one, the big fella? That's supposed to be like a really good one. Like that's like a 500-page biography on Babe Ruth that came out
possibly
last year.
Dude's just jacked, dude.
Yeah, and he never like worked out in a day in his life. It's just like born like that.
All this cool stuff. Oh, John, you know what else? You probably like this. I went to it's like Santa's Village.
Yeah.
And there's like a sports store there, and they had all these old time magazines.
Sweet.
Dude. It's called Sport.
Army Navy. What year is that?
This is. I don't see a year on it. It's from December of whatever year. You also got Willie McCovey here. Baseball ones. Here is
that's super cool.
Some Hank Aaron stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Jim Leland.
That's Jim Leland.
Oh, sorry, Billy Martin.
Okay, I was gonna be like, what?
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I got to find a place to put those up.
You should frame those or something.
Yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, I thought those were pretty cool. Yeah. Any other topics you wanted to cover?
That was really about it.
I want to see here if I had anything else. Yeah, I think that was it. And like I said, we kept it under a half hour, 42 minutes.
I was trying. I mean, I was cognizant of the time. This is probably the best I've ever done.
It's good enough. Thank you guys for watching episode 45. John, we'll be back. We'll be back again, right? We got to get trying to get got Big League today, dude, by the Big Leaguer. He was supposed to come on the show today.
Do we want to say who it is? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, Dianair Navarro.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm still working on him. He said he was going to be on, and I put out, all this stuff. I was like, tune in tomorrow live. Then he messaged me and he's like, hey man, can't make it. I'm like, God damn it, dude. So trying to do that maybe tomorrow. I don't know. He hasn't responded yet. So got Big League by the Big Leaguer.
It's all good.
We'll work on that. But thank you guys for watching. And John, we'll be back again soon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the love.
Play that outro music, baby. Guys, again, Odds Jam, Bet US, John LaLogia, me, Peter, Sheffield Shuffler. We'll catch you on the flip.
Peace.